We've talked on the YouTube channel, guys, about Payday and this franchise as a whole, guys. The peaks, the valleys, everything in between. We've talked about it here on the YouTube channel. But what I wanted to talk about here in this segment of the show, guys, is about Payday 3. And as we do in a lot of our, segments of our show, one of the segments I love is and why it should exist. And in this one, obviously, we're featuring Payday 3. A game that obviously, guys, has not been announced, but it hasn't been denied either as far as like the rumors and the rumblings that a Payday 3 was going to be coming out at some point or another in the foreseeable future. Well, what I want to talk about, guys, is Payday 3 and why it should exist. So let's talk about it. So, guys, Payday is one of those franchises that I think I really enjoy it. Let's put it that way. Just all in all, just so I can get that right out there, I've enjoyed Payday 2 quite a bit. I think it's a really cool concept. I love a lot of, whether we're talking all the different heists that you can do and just the different ways you can connect with this franchise, I enjoy it. Now, that being said, there's obviously things that, overkill and things that they could have done better. There's things that they did wrong. There's things that they did right, though. And there's things that they can do better moving forward. And I think one of the big things, guys, at least for myself, is the simple fact that Payday 3, why this game should exist and why it should be the continuation in the Payday franchise is because when you look at Payday, this has a pretty exciting and big community, a community that is growing. I shouldn't say it's like a super large community, but it's a community that has been growing. It's been growing over time, and this community has been wanting, and the fan base as a whole has been wanting a continuation of Payday 3. And the big thing for me, guys, is not so much, why should this game exist? It's more like, why not? Why shouldn't this series exist in the grand landscape of shooters out there in gaming, right? I mean, this is a franchise that Overkill, as a developer, they've basically gone all in on, essentially, right? I mean, you can think of the other games that didn't do very well for them, like The Walking Dead, and we could go on a list of other games that they've tried and it didn't really work out. The one series that did work out for them, though, is Payday, and there's been, rumblings, like I said, rumors, that Payday 3 is going to be coming out here in the foreseeable future, that there is already, kind of a schedule as to when this game is going to come out, but Overkill has needed to get funding, and they've just, had some financial problems, and I think a lot of that really comes down to games like The Walking Dead not doing as well as they were expecting. And you would think that The Walking Dead, guys, because of how massive that franchise is as far as, the series that everyone watched on AMC, you would think that The Walking Dead would have done really well for Overkill, but it didn't. And part of me wonders if it was like the direction they went with, the color palettes or the graphics or just kind of the episodic series that they were kind of going after. It's hard to say what it was that made it not really do well. But we know that Payday has done well for Overkill, so this should be like the continuation. Because the worst thing, guys, is seeing developers start to really struggle, and then they have to, start cutting the employees that they have, and then they end up having to like shut down. And it's really unfortunate because, I mean, especially when you see a franchise like Payday that still, I don't believe, has hit its full potential. And I don't even think it's close because there's only been 2 games up to this point. I think that a third game would continue the legacy. It'd continue the lore of Payday. It would also, continue what they've kind of started here with the first couple of games. And I think at this point, guys, Overkill needs to understand that maybe just continuing Payday is their best course forward instead of trying other things on the side as well. Maybe just focusing on Payday is their best course of action. And usually I don't say that for a lot of developers, guys. Most developers, I say, look, you need to diversify. You need to be making other games as well, so that if, say, your flagship, series starts to not do so well, you at least have backup plans. But in Overkill's standpoint, a company that's on the brink of, going bankrupt and basically going into non-existence, a limbo state, so to speak. I think that they need to be focused specifically on Payday. And that's why I believe Payday 3 should exist, guys. Not only because this would help Overkill get back, from in a financially good state, but also it would continue that legacy and continue the lore of the Payday franchise, which I think a lot of us really enjoy. And I'm not going to, like I said earlier, this isn't like a huge fan base, right? But this is a fan base that has been growing over time, and I think a third game would really continue building upon what they started. And look, guys, there's been a lot of, in my opinion, there's been things that Overkill has done that I just don't agree with, like the Payday Royale that they made as an April Fool's joke that they were going to get into Battle Royale, which I just thought that was, why not get into Battle Royale? What's wrong with that? I mean, making a free-to-play Payday Royale kind of a style, and even like the concepts of what they were talking about in that Royale, in the Payday universe, I think would actually be kind of interesting to see. And that's just me personally. I'd love to hear what you guys would think about that. But I just think, all in all, whether you're talking about Payday Royale, whether you're talking about Payday 3, whatever it is, guys, I think there needs to be a continuation of this franchise because there is a fan base here. There's a community built around this game, and it would not only help Overkill, I think it would help Overkill to do like a Battle Royale in the Payday universe as well as Payday 3. I mean, what could it really hurt at the end of the day? If you're really just trying to monetize around Payday at this point moving forward, you really should take advantage of that. Make a free Battle Royale game. Why not? Or just whatever it is, a free, Payday game or whatever the case might be, guys. I think Overkill needs to take Payday, and that's the one IP that they build everything around. And then moving forward, if it starts to be like super successful for them, they can start moving into other games as well. But I think, guys, that there's a number of reasons why this game should exist, and I want to know from you all, why do you think Payday 3 should or should not exist? Let me know in the comment section below. And for more Payday 3 content and videos, stay here with Zero TV.